The World Cup 2026 is officially over. And there are two things that this tournament has clearly proven. One is that even with more involvement of technology and VAR system, football is still full of controversies and questionable calls. And the second thing is that expanding the tournament to more teams does not translate into better product. This is incredibly clear when you look at the path Argentina had to reach the finals. They faced Algeria, Austria, Jordan in group stages. And then in the knockout rounds, Cabo Verde, Egypt, Switzerland, and finally England in the semi-finals. And don't get me wrong, many of those teams put up a great fight actually. But they were not really the type of opponents you expect finalists to face in the later stages of the biggest tournament in football. Essentially, Argentina faced an exciting opponent only in semi-finals, and yet they struggled up until that point. Spain, on the other hand, had far more interesting matchups in the knockout stage, facing Austria, Portugal, Belgium and France in semis. And Spain dominated all those matchups, losing only one single goal in the entire tournament, and it was against Belgium. They even absolutely dismantled France, a team that was super stacked with offensive talent and was widely considered to be the favorite to win it all. So, right before the finals, Spain was rightfully so actually the heavy favorite to win the cup, especially after their convincing semi-finals win and Argentina struggling with lesser competition. But you could not count out Argentina given how resilient mentally the team has proven to be. They had comeback after comeback, playing mid for majority of time during their matches only to make an impressive push at the end of each game. And Messi was the best player on the field at the ripe age of 39 against stacked English team, which is just insane thing that only Messi does. But man, what a letdown this finals match turned out to be. If it wasn't a finals match, I would honestly just have turned off the TV and go to sleep instead. From the very beginning, Spain was completely dominating. They came to win and it was simply obvious. They dominated possession of the ball, locking Argentina down in their half most of the time. And when Spain lost the ball, they were so quick to jump on Argentinian players that I honestly felt like there are like one or two more Spanish players on the field when they play defense. Seriously, if you haven't paid attention to how well organized Spanish team was, watch replays of some of their matches again and focus just on the speed of Spanish players on defense. You will see how good they are at cutting off all the angles that are the usual next pass in football. They basically forced Argentinian players to make decisions way faster than they are used to. And in sports we have this interesting dynamic that a dominating team or player can make any opponent look like amateurs. You basically play as good as your opponent allows you to play. And Argentina looked abysmal. Their team looked outclassed and outmatched in both technical department and in speed. Even Messi could not find any of his usual moments and space to create a chance until very late stages of extra time, which says a lot. He is 39, sure, but he can still be an electric player that creates something out of nothing for his team. But Spanish team said, basta, no sir, not today, and locked him up completely as well. It was honestly a boring match to watch as there was just no parity whatsoever. One team was clearly better than the other, and while I usually cheer for the underdog, I did not want Argentina to win that match. They did nothing to deserve the W in this particular matchup. They looked like they did not want to lose the match from the very beginning, and that's a loser mentality, all while Spain came to win. In fact, Argentina looked in the finals like England did after scoring the goal against them in semi-finals. And internet moaned about England parking the bus for 30 minutes with no intention to create anything. They kinda played anti-football, right? And yet, Argentina did the same fucking thing for 120 minutes of the finals. In fact, they had no shots on goal in 120 minutes of the match, with their first shot attempt registered in like 117th minute, which is the first time this has happened ever in the finals. So yeah, the final match of the World Cup 2026 was a complete letdown. Congrats to Spain, they were great and they dominated the whole tournament and they deserved to be the champion. Congrats also to Argentina for reaching the final. It must have been a very bitter evening yesterday for their fans and not the way they wanted their team to lose. But it's still no small feat to get that far. All in all, this tournament had some good matches with drama and beautiful goals. We also had some cool stories and teams that stole hearts of football fans around the world, like Cabo Verde and Norway. But what I will remember this tournament most for is this: pointless group stages, lack of exciting matchups up until very late stages of the tournament, Argentinian comebacks and antics, Spanish domination with some of the best defense I've ever seen in football, and the most one-sided finals match that I've also ever seen in a football tournament. And how about you? What will you remember this World Cup tournament for? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's all from me in this video. Thanks for your time and I'll see you in the next one.